Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this video, I aim to be a quick one, at least. Obviously, in the past week or so, we've heard the news surrounding Conor Benn and his failed PED test for clomiphene, whatever it's called. And, obviously this has got the boxing world talking in regards to, PEDs in general in boxing, fighter safety, things of that nature. Now, if you followed this channel for any amount of time, you would know my opinions on PEDs in boxing and what I feel the solution should be. I'm not going to go over that again, to be honest, because I'm bored of repeating it. But ultimately, I will repeat it once again. In short, I believe boxing should implement a no-testing policy, similar to Pride MMA back in the day. Just let these guys do what they want to do. If they want to juice, let them. If they don't, they don't. Ultimately, both parties will be consenting. They know what could go down. It is what it is. That's how I see it, quite frankly, because right now, when it comes to drug testing in boxing, we've seen various examples to where drug testing is weaponized or potentially could be weaponized. We have individual fighters who have relationships with testing agencies, such as Floyd Mayweather with USADA or Nonito Donaire with VADA, And the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight is the perfect example of weaponized drug testing because before that fight, Manny Pacquiao requested, I believe it was painkillers or pain injections for a shoulder injury, and the commission basically ruled it out. They didn't allow it. But Mayweather was caught violating WADA protocols by using the illegal IV. This came out after the fact, and what do we know? He was given a retrospective TUE. I mean, Mayweather using an IV. The narrative always was, with Mayweather, that this guy was always on weight. He was a small welterweight. That was the narrative, so why the fuck would a guy who is a small welterweight be needing an IV to rehydrate if he's not cut weight? We all know what the deal was there, let's be real. He was juiced up to the eyeballs. But that wasn't my problem though. My problem was that Pacquiao wasn't allowed to use fuck all. Let both guys juice. Let it be fair, Just don't test these guys and let them do what they do. That's how I see it. But, what's interesting to me, obviously when something like this happens in boxing, we get the usual suspects kind of virtue signal about PEDs in boxing and fighter safety. Now, I used to do the exact same thing years ago. I would say Pacquiao-Mayweather was the first instance to where my eyes were opened in regards to the realities of drug testing in boxing. But even after that, I have to be honest with myself and you guys, I still kind of, I guess, virtue signaled after that instance when guys would test positive, how bad it was and how these guys are cheats, just because it was the going thing, I guess. Maybe it was a case of narcissistic compassion on my behalf, but ultimately as the years passed, I realised what a sham it was, drug testing in boxing, and also I have to give credit to other people, other content creators opened my eyes to the realities, such as Fight Film. Big up to Fight Film, great channel. But yeah, Povetkin versus Wilder was the nail in the coffin for me when it comes to caring about PEDs in boxing, I guess I would say. And even then, when that news first broke, I got that badly wrong, and I will admit that. But ever since then, as that case kind of transpired, as more information was revealed, again, I realised how badly I got it wrong, and how much of a sham drug testing is in boxing. But regardless, so again, I was in the same position as a lot of people are on social media right now when they come out and virtue signal about PEDs. We know the arguments, PEDs are dangerous, Fighter A, if he's juicing and Fighter B isn't, Fighter A is cheating, etc. All that stuff. I mean, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. I mean, I'm not trying to convert you guys. But it's interesting because PEDs are seen as, from like the mainstream perspective, like the boxing journalists and most fans on social media, PEDs are seen as dangerous, evil, cheating, and that ultimately they bring the sport into disrepute. So that is the mainstream's opinion and the public's opinion on PEDs in boxing. Again, if that's your opinion, it is what it is. But one question I would like to ask is, why isn't that same opinion held over fouling in boxing or consistent foulers in boxing, fighters who consistently bend the rules to win a fight? We know the examples: Orlando Salido, Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins, Evander Holyfield, just to name a few. These guys have reputations for being rule breakers, for being dirty fighters, guys who utilise low blows, headbutts, etc., consistent clinching, that sort of thing. But these guys are praised by the very same boxing scribes and a lot of the boxing public for utilising such tactics in their fights. Such tactics are described as slick, crafty, veteran tactics. We know the terms. So these sort of tactics are okay, but the same boxing writers who praise these sort of guys will castigate PED users, calling them cheaters, calling them evil, saying they're putting fighters' lives at risk. Well, the last time I checked, rabbit punching is pretty fucking dangerous. Just ask Pritchard Colon. Well, you can't, because he's a fucking vegetable now. I mean, what about consistent low blowing in boxing? If you punch a guy in the balls enough, I'm sure that's going to deplete him to the point where he's not moving as well, maybe he's not defending as well, and he's catching more headshots as a result. Headbutts in boxing, deliberately headbutting and cutting guys, blood runs into the eyes, they're not as, they can't anticipate shots as well because of their vision. But again, these are slick tactics. There's nothing wrong with breaking the Marcus of Queensberry rules. That's okay, that's slick, that's crafty, and it should be admired. So cheating in one sense is perfectly fine. Going against the rules of the Marcus of Queensberry is perfectly fine. But, taking PEDs is evil, dangerous, and ultimately it brings the sport into disrepute. But it's okay to punch a guy in the dick, hit him behind the head, that's all okay. And I understand, I know the difference between dirty tactics and accidents in boxing. Things happen. But again, certain fighters get praised for consistently using these tactics. That's okay though. Makes no sense to me. Again, the whole PED argument, making the sport more dangerous, bloody bloody blah. I mean, again, where is the proof to verify that claim that PEDs would make boxing more dangerous if everybody had access to said PEDs and everybody went in with informed consent? What's the problem? What is the problem? I mean, Pride MMA, way back in the day, basically did that. They said in their contracts, we do not test for steroids. And arguably, many would say that was the greatest generation of MMA. It was the greatest company in regards to, crazy fights, that sort of thing. Nobody died, by the way, in Pride. Nobody died. So the narrative that PEDs would drastically make boxing more dangerous, I mean, show me the proof to verify these claims. Show me the proof. I mean, if both guys are on a level playing field, both guys know what they can do, what they can take, and there's informed consent, I don't see the problem of PEDs in boxing, quite frankly. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to say, well, if you allow PEDs in boxing, that means guys are going to be hitting harder, they're going to be throwing more punches, they're going to have better stamina, therefore it's going to be more dangerous. I could easily say on the flip side, again, that argument has no proof, neither does mine, but I could easily say on the flip side, well, actually, do you know what? PEDs in boxing in certain circumstances could make boxing safer. I'll give you an example. As we know, one of the most dangerous things in boxing is weight cutting, to the point to where you're cutting so much weight that on fight night, you're not fully rehydrated, there's not enough fluid around the brain, therefore, you are more susceptible to sustaining a brain injury. Let's say that weight cut could be alleviated by diuretics, so you can make the weight easier in the first place, and after the weigh-in, I can rehydrate via an IV. I mean, maybe that would make boxing safer. Who knows? I mean, we keep on hearing that, guys who are weight drained are more susceptible to injury, serious injury, in a boxing ring. Maybe having PEDs, quote-unquote PEDs, or banned substances, or banned practices would alleviate that, So yeah, I mean, people can easily say, well, PEDs make boxing more dangerous. Okay, well, I can easily turn around and say, well, maybe PEDs can make boxing safer in certain aspects, which I just stated. I mean, there's no proof for either, but I can easily say the opposite. But ultimately, what I do know is headbutting, low blowing, hitting behind the head can potentially be dangerous. They are not in the Marquess of Queensberry rules, but, these same people who chastise PED cheats, quote unquote, are receptive and full of praise when it comes to certain guys for utilising tactics that go against the Marquess of Queensberry rules, and tactics that in some circumstances could be dangerous. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You tell me. You tell me. But it's crazy, what can I say? What can I say? I mean, punching a guy in the dick a million times, headbutting him, hitting him behind the head, that's slick. That's safe, apparently. That should be admired. Okay? Actually, those sort of occurrences go against the Marquess of Queensberry rules, but we should accept that, but not PEDs. By the way, show me in the Marquess of Queensberry rules where PEDs are against the rules. Show me that. But anyway, share your thoughts below. Maybe you guys think I'm fucking crazy. We shall see. Share your thoughts below, Beanie Guy Delboy. Peace.